Okay, I'm ready to be done with the preseason. Avs lose to the Minnesota Wild 5-2 in preseason game number 3.
Arturi Lehkonen! Colorado has won the Stanley Cup!
Look, this game kind of went off the rails mostly. The Avs penalty kill was abhorrent in this game, but I just don't care about that because it's a bunch of guys who won't be playing in the NHL and a bunch of guys who don't know the Avs penalty kill system, so of course it looked bad. The actual outcome of this game is entirely meaningless. These games are more about looking at individuals, looking at who looks good, who's earning jobs, who's losing jobs, those types of things. And in this game, the winners were Alex Newhook and Martin Kaut. Newhook, fighting for that 2C job on the Avs this year, honestly, in my eyes, has essentially locked it up already. Tonight's game was the pinnacle of that. He looked well beyond everyone else on the ice and was dominant throughout. Kaut, on the other hand, is probably on the outside, looking to try and earn a job on the Avs this year, but games like this one, where he has a 2-point night and looks solid on all ends of the ice and on nearly every single shift, is how he gets himself into that conversation. There were some other players that may have taken some steps back or didn't do a whole lot, but I'm not going to get too much into that. Those conversations will be made clear when the Avs start making cuts. As for the game itself, it started off really fun. Like I said, Alex Newhook, dominant. The Avs on the breakout here with Girard backing up. He then throws it up the near wall, and this is perfect execution. This is Hudon to Newhook with a little touch play in the neutral zone. The Avs practice this all of training camp, and it's great to see them executing it effectively in a game. Newhook is able to collect the puck and get going quickly the correct direction. His speed boost gives the Avs a 2-on-1, beating the high man into the zone, and now the Avs have a great opportunity. It's great work from Newhook to get both players committing to him and then finding the passing lane, sliding it across to Kaut for a grade A chance. Kaut cuts in, makes a nice move to the backhand, but ultimately gets stopped. But it's okay because Newhook stayed engaged in the play. He's paying attention, he's looking for an opportunity, and he gets rewarded. The rebound ends up coming right to him, and he chips it into the net to finish. Newhook did absolutely everything right on that play. Could not have done any better no matter what. Just perfect hockey. Really just excellent work all the way around from that line. And then things stopped being as fun because preseason hockey refuses to give you extended looks at 5-on-5. Another game where it was a parade to the penalty box. And I know some of those calls are soft, but gotta clean it up, Avs. We want to see you play hockey, not sit in the box. And by the end of the first period, Minnesota was 2 for 2 on the power play. And not just anyone from Minnesota, they both came from Tyson Jost. So you're going to see Minnesota running a triangle on this side of the ice, and it's going to mess with the Avs PK quite a bit, overloading that side. They're not really sure how to deal with it. Initially, this defense is okay. You had McDermott with the man in the middle, Amat with the man outside. The puck gets worked back out high. You'd probably like to see Newhook pressure here and kind of find a middle ground to prevent anything from going dangerous down the middle from out up high. But instead, you get McDermott committing to the man out high, Amat committing to the man in deep, and the corner being open, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing either. That's a guy awfully close to your net, completely uncontested with the puck. But if the handoff was done correctly here, it would have been fine. McDermott needed to commit down to the puck carrier, while Newhook takes the man cutting down the middle. Instead, they both take the man cutting down the middle, giving the puck carrier all the time in the world. He can do whatever he wants here. He's completely uncontested. There is no danger coming toward him. All of that is very bad, and then Amat ends up losing the battle in front, just gets out-muscled by Tyson Jost, and Jost finds some space and finishes. So a pretty similar situation to the last goal. This puck gets rimmed around, and they get set up in their triangle. You can see it's fairly obvious here. This time, McDermott does a better job of trying to take away those 2 points down low and not running up high, but because he's staying down low, you get this weird situation where Sampo let Tyson Jost just go past him to the middle. The problem is, with McDermott dealing with both of these guys on his side, he either needs Sampo to follow that, he either needs Bowers to step up with that, or he either needs Zhuravlyov to come off the backside and take him. None of those things happen, so Tyson Jost is just wide open in the slot. Not good, as they say. And from there, Zhuravlyov gets caught reaching just a little bit here. Jost gets around him, cuts to his side, and then finishes the play. So the Avs are down 2-1 after the first period. And here's the thing. The Avs actually dominated most of the stretch of this game that were at 5-on-5. There weren't enough of them, but the parts that were, complete control for Colorado. In fact, through the first 10 minutes of the second period, where there weren't really any penalties called, the Avs were out shooting Minnesota 14-2. So outside of the power play and penalty kill special team systems, the Avs were kind of dunking on Minnesota. And that showed up in the first minute of the second period, where the Avs would score. This starts with great forecheck work. First, Hudon, with his speed, getting in and forcing an error. And once the error comes, the second man in, and Martin Kaut, is able to capitalize, get his stick on it, and create a turnover. Now, Hudon has a grade A chance here that he completely fans on, so it gets a little bit squirrely, but he's able to recover, slap it to Kaut, who's gotten to the dangerous area of the ice, and Kaut with a perfect finish up top. Martin Kaut did a great job of positioning all night long. He was consistently putting himself in the right spots to be dangerous and effective in and around the puck for the Avs. On top of that, he played incredibly smart, always knew where to be, always knew where his teammates were going to be, making passes, making plays that a lot of people struggled to make for the Avs tonight. I really do believe he is an NHL player, but we'll see if he gets that opportunity. Unfortunately, the wheels just completely came off this game in the last 5 or so minutes of the second period. More Avs penalties led to more terrible PKing, which gave Minnesota the lead back. Just one obvious defensive failure here. The shot is going to come in from out high, miss the net, and go towards the corner. And initially, this is good stuff. The Avs have won the race here. Englund should be able to get this puck out. Even if it's a backhand up the boards and out, there are 4 Wild players in deep. It should be pretty routine, but he feels the pressure and decides to curl back in behind his net and engage in a battle. It's a 50-50 battle, so you're going to see McDermott start to come towards him to try and help. But Englund is able to win it initially, and then he tries to throw it to, I'm assuming he thinks McDermott, but McDermott now in an awkward position, and this pass is extremely feeble, and there's just no reason it should be made, combines for the worst possible outcome as it slowly rolls past McDermott, who fans on it entirely, and yeah, all of a sudden it's on a wide open Wild player's stick in front of the net. Could not have gone any worse. And that wasn't even the worst of it, as the Avs would give up 2 more goals with time winding down in the second, both at 5-on-5, due to their defense kind of just collapsing. Just more defensive miscommunication here. You're going to see Girard battling in front, doing fine, holding his own. And out of the corner comes Brad Hunt, initially with his man up to that point. And his man is going to circle around and go to the far side. Well, Hunt just pulls up and kind of stands here. It's a bit of an awkward situation, right? Because Hunt does need to respect the man with the puck, and the Avs forwards were a bit out of sorts, but it leads to this situation where the Avs now have 5 players essentially just standing in a line in the middle of the ice. They're not covering much at all, and if anything gets through them, it's a complete disaster. So as they finally do start to adjust, a shot is going to come forward, come to Frankie, and admittedly, this is a bad rebound from Frankie. You can't let this squirt out to the far side. Not a good look, but it does show how completely unengaged Brad Hunt is in defending this play. Girard still tied up with his man in front, defending. Bowers has now gotten over to take the puck carrier, and Brad Hunt is defending nothing. You also see Olausen pretty late uncovering that back door to help his defenseman, and yeah, that's going to lead to a goal. So after Minnesota gets the puck in the zone here near the end of the second period, with time winding down, McDermott decides to fully commit to a check and take himself entirely out of this play as the defenseman. The thing is, initially, this is okay. McDermott makes his hit, and Ben Myers has rotated back in for him. Everything is fine. But when the shot comes through, there's an initial rebound attempt. Zaravyov does a good job tying up the man in front, but Ben Myers is just floating. He wasn't ready to adjust. He wasn't ready to react to a rebound, and he gets beat cleanly, and that results in a goal. So yeah, their defense wasn't good enough in this game, but again, they're icing a defense with 1 full NHLer on it, and even their forward core, who's helped supporting the defense, has a handful of guys that aren't going to be in the NHL. It was pretty clear they were outclassed on that end of the ice, and that's how you got to this result. It's not something I'm going to look at too much or think about at all ever again. P.S. The one quality defenseman was Sam Girard. Great to see him back playing in a game. He looked totally fine, so that's a plus. And then the third period happened where basically nothing happened. Some scuffles, a bunch of penalties, but no actual goal scoring or anything, and that was the end of the game. So, the Avs need to be better. Yeah, obviously, but when you put an NHL roster out there, they're going to have better finishing. They're going to have better goaltending. They're going to have better defense. On all categories of the game, this was not their NHL roster. So It is what it is. With another game tomorrow, some of these guys might get another opportunity to look good, and then I would expect at least some cuts to come in after that, starting on this weekend. So then we'll start to see the picture of who has really looked good in the Avs' eyes this offseason, and the conversation will start to get interesting on who's going to make the roster. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and yeah, if we could go ahead and figure out a way to just get to the regular season and skip preseason, I'm here for it.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the big. The fun isn't over yet, it is Avalanche time.